Welcome back to Light Talk, where the guests can be themselves and tell their own unique stories and experiences of the metaphysical world. If you have your own unique stories, I would love to chat with you. Please email lighttalk423 at gmail.com. And while you're at it, click on the like, share, and subscribe buttons below. Well, today, let's go ahead and get going and let's have our guest introduce herself and start telling her unique stories.
Thank you. Hi, Dana.
Hi.
My name is Addie Halkin, and I am a spiritual coach. And I have watched a few of your videos, and they've been really great. And what I noticed is that a lot of you guys have had a lot of paranormal kind of experiences, which I find very interesting because I probably have only had maybe one of those. Um, so it kind of reminds me how creative spirit is. Spirit just really knows, you know, how we are and how we receive information the best. Um, so it's just always amazes me how unique each one of us is, and how spirit is able to kind of get to us the way we receive information. So my stories may be a little bit more along the lines of clairsentience primarily, although which is as I think you've described this before, but it's kind of intuitive feeling. Um, that I've had a lot of claircognizance or cogniance. I never say that right, but which is the intuitive knowing. I've had some clairvoyance, which is the intuitive sight, clairaudience, intuitive hearing. Um, but I think clairsentience is maybe primarily how I receive information. And I'll just kind of start from the beginning and see where it goes. But when I was about 5 years old, I remember my mom was dating a guy, and he was telling us that he had a daughter. And I got this image of his daughter in my head, and it was, a pretty detailed image of her. And then a little later on that night, he pulled out his wallet and he showed us a picture of his daughter. And it was the exact same image as what I had gotten in my head. And I just remember being, 5 years old, and my eyes got really big. And it was just kind of a cool experience. But after that, I don't really recall any kind of, I don't remember anyway, any kind of intuitive experiences happening until maybe about, I want to say age 19. um, at that time, I had been going through some very self-destructive behavior. I'd been going through a really strong eating disorder at that time, and it had been going on about 2.5 years. And long story short, I ended up connecting with someone that's kind of maybe more like you and I, just very um, like a spiritual teacher type person. She was very clairvoyant. She could see a lot of energy. And one day she came to me and she said, I've been working with you for about a year and a half. And she said, I don't know if I'm the right person for you. She said, I'm used to people getting well after about 6 months. And I don't see that you're getting well. And she said, I won't leave you hanging. I'll try to find somebody, but I'm not sure that I'm the right person. And I was pretty upset by that. But one of the things that her and I would do is most weeks we would go to this group meditation. And it was called I'm blanking here. It was called self-realization. That was the name of the foundation. And that foundation, they really focus on Christ, Krishna, Babaji, Lahari Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, and Paramahansa Yogananda. That's a real mouthful there, but um, uh, that particular night, she still was going to that with me, and that particular Thursday night, it was Mahavatar Babaji's birthday, and they had a big picture of him up at the front of the room, and the person facilitating that meditation said, if you want to come up, anybody that wants to come up and honor him or say a prayer or whatever you want to do, feel free to do that. And I am not, just keep in mind, I'm not a real, it's hard for me to even go to a group. I'm not real ritualistic. I'm not real ceremonial or, organized religion or anything like that. So this was not maybe my normal nature, but I felt like, I'm not, who am I to be picky at this point? I'm suffering quite a bit. And so I thought, well, I'm going to go up and I'm going to say a prayer. I don't even really remember what I said, but I went up during that group and I, kind of knelt or kneeled beside his picture and just said whatever I said and paid respect. And I was up there a really long time, which is also not really my style. I normally don't want to take up a bunch of time and, don't really want the attention and can be a little bit shy about stuff like that. But I just kept feeling this pull to stay up there at that picture with, saying whatever prayer I was saying. And I got down, and then the next day, my therapist did agree to meet with me again. And she looked at me. She had a disgusted look on her face. I didn't understand why at that time. I do now. But she said, there's something I need to tell you. She said, I've seen it since we started working together. She said, you have something on your energy field. It's attached, it's feeding off you, it's negative. She called it a tramp soul, and that's not something I've ever heard anyone say since then. She also called it foreign energy. Um, and this was the 90s, so I had not heard of anything like this. I'd not heard of this, but I remember looking at her and without even being able to have a thought in my head, I just said, "You're right." And I just started coughing and coughing and like, struggling to breathe and coughing. And I'm not sure how long that lasted. I'm going to guess a few minutes. Um, and what ended up happening is whatever she was talking about, I coughed right off my field. And I remember feeling very different after that. And, walking out of her office and thinking, we'll see, because I had so many times I'd walked out of her office and I'd been like, oh, this is the day I'm going to get better. And it just never would happen. But I went home, I went to bed, I got up the next morning and I started crying and I called her and I said, I'm I'm better. You know, I don't know what happened, but I am like I'm better. I'm done. Um and it was, I can only attribute that to Baba G. I think that he stepped in and intervened. I get a little emotional because it was like that. It was instantaneous. And I think this story is so important because I have seen this, I've now been on the other side. I've seen other people have these things attached. It's pretty common that, people have stuff attached to their energy field. I'm not saying everybody, but it does happen. And in particularly, I've noticed it around addiction. I've really never seen anybody with a strong addiction that doesn't have something like this going on. Um, and the thing is that during that time, for probably about a year of working with her, the last year I worked with her, I really felt better in my mind, but I could not, it's like I couldn't kick the behavior. No matter what I did, I don't know, I guess I didn't have the confidence. And um, I think it just demonstrates how powerful it is to keep your energy clean. And when energies attached to us, that are kind of not our own, they don't want us to really know that they're attached because then we might do something about it. So, if you're struggling with something addiction wise or just feeling terrible all the time and you don't know why, that is a possibility. And it's it's not really that hard to remove them. But if you don't know that it's there, then, you don't you don't remove it.
Right,
Um,
right. I have one question
yeah.
about, can you explain what a tramp is? I haven't really heard of that term either. So, what is that terminology? What does that mean?
You got me. That's just what that's what she said. Again, this was the 90s, so you know, it may have been a term that she had, read, in a book or something that isn't used anymore. I That's a good question. That would actually be worth some research. But I don't necessarily see these things on people, but I pick them up through feeling. So I can't always determine, what kind of energy is attached to somebody.
Right.
Only the only way I would say that I even have any kind of discernment with that is I can tell like the intensity of what somebody has attached to their field. Uh, I had a friend who had a very, very strong, I would say probably demon attached. And whew, it was different than just, somebody like myself who, became very self-destructive. He was more outwardly, you know, destructive towards others. Um,
Wow.
and so all I can say is that um, I've watched. I now know why her face was disgusted when she said that to me, because these things, they really are disgusting. Like that's how they feel to me. Now that I've kind of been on the other side of it and felt what it is, to have somebody else have that going on. But my friend who I just spoke of, he was a friend of mine that I often tried to help because I felt like he had some challenges in his life. I won't get into it too deeply, but um, we always had a very just loving friendship, and that's all it was. It wasn't anything different than that. And then I started to notice that I was feeling really strange around him, and I decided that I was gonna kind of try to fade away, because I just didn't like what I was feeling. He
Right.
was even like, making googly eyes at me. And I, I didn't, it was weird. It was like he was acting like he was interested, but I knew that wasn't what it was. But I didn't know what it was. I just knew that there was a falseness to that, that he wasn't actually really interested. And I don't even know how to describe that. I could tell it was false. And um the more I tried to go away from him, the more he kept showing up in my space more and more. I worked with this person, and um, eventually he got really very negative and started, gossiping a lot and um, complaining if he didn't get at least 12 hours of sleep a night and, taking 35-minute breaks when it was supposed to be 15-minute breaks, unless the boss was around. It just, uh, and anyways, one day I went home and I was very frustrated, and I don't normally take work home. And I thought, okay, this isn't good. Like
Right.
this is getting a little out of hand. And so I I remember that night I was listening to YouTube, and all of a sudden like the information just came in. He's got something attached, and I went, oh, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking about, okay, where to get it from? Not that it matters, but
Right.
Um, and I started thinking about all these, his weird roommate situations. He'd had some, real special ones. And then I went, no, wait, when did I start feeling this? And it had been about 10 months worth. And I realized it was right at that 10-month, it was right after he had moved into a specific house. And interestingly enough, that house, I knew the person that owned that house and lived in that house before. I had worked for the wife. And so I immediately understood why he had picked up on energy like that, because I knew that family. I also knew that the room that he was staying in was the room of the mother of the husband, so the mother-in-law, and she had dementia, so I can only assume she was on a lot of Western medicine, which I have found very
Mhm.
much brings, allows entities and demons into people's fields. And so, it was all starting to click. And then I thought, okay, what am I supposed to do about this? Because I'm not willing to be around this anymore.
No.
And so I thought, it's my, it's my responsibility to say something. I didn't figure it would go well, and it didn't. He was not, he was not receptive. He was very much in his logical mind and
Hmm.
didn't want to like necessarily believe it. But although he did admit to me somebody else had told him the same thing, that they had picked up on that too, on him. Um,
That's
and
good that
so,
he recognized that side of it, that somebody else had mentioned it to him and he's picked up on it.
yeah,
So
it's
that
good.
was really good for him.
Yeah, to admit it. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure. Um, but for whatever reason, maybe, maybe what was on him was so strong that it was kind of, he was struggling to really see it. I don't know. But he didn't want to do the work, which I don't understand, because every time I've ever had energy work and had something cleared, it's really easy and it just makes everything better. It's not even hard. But he ended up getting so angry about this that he the last day of work, he started getting really kind of aggressive towards me. And I'm pretty sure that if other people who wouldn't have been in the room, he probably would have come at me physically. Yeah,
Wow.
and this was not somebody that was like that at all before. So this is how important it is to keep our energetic hygiene, um,
Right.
and the way in which these get in is when we're compromised. When we're too compromised, that's how they get in. So that, Western medicine that alters your brain chemicals can allow that kind of thing in. Obviously we know drugs, alcohol, all those of addictions can really compromise our fields and compromise ourselves, and let
Right.
that kind of thing. The other thing I've seen is, when people are maybe taking care of really sick people, and if they're not strong enough themselves, or they're not taking care of themselves enough, they can pick up on that kind of thing as well. Um,
Yeah.
it happens. It's life. It happens. It's not the end of the world, but it is. I have seen, my friend that I'm talking about, he ended up leaving that job because he got in a fight with me. Um, and he decided that he just, I guess my energy was stronger because it was either he leave or I leave, because that's not something I need to tolerate. Um,
Right.
so he ended up leaving the job. He ended up leaving his roommates, was high and dry, and then moved to, like, 2 days later, moved to a state that he hates, because his family's there. And so, he kind of lost his job. He loved this state. He lost the state he was living in. Um, and he, lost his home in a way over
Right.
this, and when he could have just got himself cleared. Um, and I
Wow.
don't say that to be gossipy. The other thing that happened is somebody else in that environment who drank a lot, and this isn't to be gossipy at all, because I don't judge that. I don't care. Um, but I think that's what let it in for her. She picked up on it. She also lost her job. And then her fiance, who was a really nice guy, I don't think he knew what it was, but he recognized that he wasn't liking how he felt around her anymore, and he broke it off. So she lost her relationship over this too. And I just see it all the time. I mean, it's amazing the destruction that negative energies can kind of cause if we don't clean them up.
Right.
Right.
Right. And it doesn't, like, kind of like what you're saying, it's not only on that person, it radiates out to other people. So it's affecting a lot of other people, not just that one person.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're
So,
all connected.
right, right. And especially when you're working around them, it's, it really rubs off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very hard to keep your soul clean and your soul in your happy place
Mm.
versus, getting hooked into the, I don't know if you want to call it gossiping or all that negative stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tough. It's
It
tough.
is.
Yeah, I'm in a work situation right now where it's kind of on that tough side for me, and it's tough. It's really tough to keep yourself energetic
Yeah.
with a high energy, and it's really hard.
Yeah, it's almost like you feel like you have to constantly dominate it. Who wants to be on who wants to be on yeah, forget the word, but like why who wants to put in that effort to try to, dominate an energy space?
Right,
It's
right,
just much nicer to be around well, you know, people that
yeah,
are more where you're at, but yeah.
right, yeah. So I get that. I hope other people watching this is getting it and kind of understand where maybe they can help somebody that they love out, and
Yeah.
or themselves, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if
Yeah,
you're chronically feeling terrible and you don't know why, or you're chronically in addiction and you don't know what to do, you don't know why you can't get well. Well, I can tell you, I'm not sure that I would have cleared that eating disorder had that not happened. Because I understood everything in my head.
right,
I had grown almost like grown beyond it, but I couldn't change that behavior. And then that got removed and it just I mean it's done. And that's the other thing is that anybody that's hearing this that has heard, once an alcoholic, once an addict, always an addict, that's such a lie. I know that AA does that to, because they think they're protecting people and if it works for you, it's fine. But just understand that that's not true. I had an addiction that um, is one of the ones that most people would consider the hardest to get well from, and it was gone like that. You know, it's not even like drugs or alcohol where you can just eliminate it. Most of us have to eat, so
right,
um, but it was gone. It's never coming back. It was gone. You know, um, so I think that just understand that we're very powerful people. We're very powerful beings, and um, it could just be something as simple as something's on your field. And a couple of the other experiences that I had later was I did contact a an energy clear that I found online, and it was because I have had some physical issues since I was a kid, and I thought maybe that might help. Um, it didn't necessarily, but it was a really good experience. He cleared my field and he cleared my home, is what he did, and when he was doing it, he told me, or I laid down because I wanted to feel what I could feel, and I felt
right.
everything he did, and he did a great job. Um, but I called him afterwards and said, well, he told me what he had found. He had found some things, nothing major, but some curses and things like that. And I said, well, I felt everything you did, but I'm not really better physically. And he said, well, when that happens, usually you need to see a doctor, which I've seen many. That wasn't the most helpful, but the what happened is I hopped in the shower after that, and I was in the shower and I started to hyperventilate and like cry and stuff, which I didn't really know why. And I got out of the shower and I checked my voicemail, and he had left me a voicemail, and he said, I went back into your stomach, because at the time I thought that was what was going on. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
but and he said, I found a little PTSD, and that was about it. And he said, I've done everything I can do. So I picked up on that. And it was nice because I knew that, he was legit, and,
Right.
he was doing what he said. So about a year later, my husband ended up quitting a very long standing job, like 20 something year job. He didn't have anything lined up after that. He doesn't like computers. He doesn't like change. So he was really freaking out, and he was really becoming not himself at all. He's normally very social and lighthearted and stuff. And he was really not acting like that. It just kept going on and on. And he was, I saw his eyes starting to cross and stuff. And I thought, oh, maybe he needs a clearing. I don't know. So I went to contact that guy again, and it turns out he had some medical conditions, and I think he passed away a year later, or I mean, sorry, a month after that. So I knew I couldn't really have my husband work with him. So I went looking for somebody else online, and I found somebody named Cindy Hallett, and she's calls herself the entity doctor. And so I thought, well, I'll try her. And she told me that she'd have to clear everybody in the home as well as the home itself. And so I said okay, and I had her do that. And I was at work, and I took my lunch break early because I wanted to again feel what I could feel when she was doing it.
Right.
And I didn't really feel a lot, but I heard it was very interesting. I heard a demonic voice, and it said, I am Talvin. Never heard that name before. I spent my life um, telling you what to do and who to be with, and now I'm lost. And that's all. I mean, I just heard that in a demonic type voice. It was interesting. I wasn't scared or anything, but um, so then a couple nights later, it was Halloween, and we hear like this is the one paranormal experience I've had. We heard a really loud crash on our house, like really loud. Like I didn't know if someone drove their car into my house. Like it was
Oh
just
my
loud.
goodness.
Yeah. And
Jeez.
I even screamed. I mean, it was loud. So my husband went outside, and like probably within 30 seconds, and it was, I'm thinking, well, it's Halloween, maybe kids are messing around or something.
Right.
And we never saw a soul out there. We never found anything. Nothing. It was just nothing. We still to this day don't completely know what happened, although there is a crack on my front door frame. Um, but other
Oh
than that,
wow.
we don't know. And it really didn't occur to me until about 6 months ago. Um, she probably ruffled the nest of, she found some stuff on the house for sure, and on us, but mostly the house. Um, and that was probably spirit, some mad spirit.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt us. I'm not overly afraid of that stuff, but I have heard of things like that happening.
Right.
um so these energy clears, if they're legit, they're they're very good at what they do. And I'll say within 2 weeks of that clearing, my husband got better, and also his daughter got better, because Cindy had asked him about his kids, and she found that his daughter had definitely had some things on her, and they have
Oh
both been
wow.
better ever since, like back to normal, doing good. um
Wow.
so that's what I'm saying. Like these, however it works for you to get your energy cleared, whether you need somebody else or you find a way to do it yourself, do it. It's not that hard, and it makes all the difference in the world. Um, so, as far as that kind of thing, those are, as far as the energy and entities, demons, those are some of my experiences. I've had some other experiences around dreams. I think, dreams are a big area for a lot of us to experience spirit and spirit type activities, because we're in such a non-resistant state that they can get through really well to
Right.
us.
Right.
Um,
Right.
go ahead. Do you have
Oh
a
no,
question?
go ahead. No, go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So
We have a couple more minutes here.
okay. Wow, it's gone fast.
I know, see?
No.
I was
Um,
warning her, everyone. She was a little nervous about that. And I was like, oh, it's going to go so fast. You won't even know the difference. And boom. Yeah, it goes fast.
yeah, it does. It
Yeah.
does. There's many stories, but and I think we all have them. I think the thing is, we're all super intuitive, and we all have psychic abilities, and it's just how you receive information. um I will say that uh for me, I am, primarily clairsentient, and it comes through dreams, it comes through feelings. um but sometimes it's intense. I will say, for whatever reason, my strength is I am highly intuitive around people. I'm not I'm never I'm never deceived by a person. It happened one time, and I was super upset about it. And I said to my guides and spirit, I said, you know, why did I attract this? Why, you know, what is this? And the answer I got is that something about yourself was in the way. Something, it was a betrayal situation. And I had to really look at, okay, do I have any tendency to betray, you know? And I found that yes, I did. And that's why I couldn't see this person's betraying abilities or tendencies. And ever since then, I just don't get betrayed by people. And it's kind of a double-edged sword because I often will see a lot of things I don't want to see with people too. Um, but you know, the, this physical life we're living is unlimited, and the veil is getting thinner, as you know. We are moving into a really intense time right now where we're making major shifts on this planet.
Mhm.
And the more we can like tap into our own powers, the better this is going to be. So, um, I don't know. Is our time up?
No, that's my alarm
Oh,
going
okay.
off. Sorry about that, everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, we have, well, we could probably go another 3 more minutes, three
Okay.
more minutes.
All right. Well, I guess maybe just I will just say that I am a spiritual coach. And right now in my life, I'm looking to primarily connect with people. So, I'm looking to um give away free sessions to people right now because I know that we are going through a really intense time. Um, and I know that I feel that the kind of the solution to what we're going into right now in our world is for people to start collaborating, um, and kind of look finding their talent and find because each one of us has like a different piece of the puzzle
Right.
that we can bring to the shifts that we're about ready to move into on this planet. Um, and there's not one of us that can do it all. Um,
Nope.
every one of us has something different to bring, and the quicker we can collaborate together, the quicker we can start recognizing each other's gifts and recognizing each other's talents. And boy, there is a lot of it out there. I guarantee you everybody watching right now has something that they can bring into this 5D shift that we're making. um, the more we can collaborate, the better. So, uh, if there's a way to leave my information, I just want to offer anyone watching a free session. There's no obligation. I'm not trying to be a salesperson here. I just want to connect with people and see, you know, if you have something that's not working for you, maybe we can work it out. One thing I love to do is I love to do tarot, but I don't expect people to do tarot. It's just if it's something you like to do. Otherwise, you know, talking or collaborating in whatever way is appropriate is something that I want to offer. And yeah, I think that that's probably about all I
Yeah,
can.
well, we'll definitely put your information on the comments below.
Great.
And to let everyone know that you have free sessions and everything.
Yeah.
And to let you all know, I have definitely met with Addie a couple times now, huh?
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, on a face-to-face situation, and she is a joy to be around, and
Oh,
she's very easy to talk to. She's wonderful. She's
thank you.
absolutely wonderful. So please take her up on her offers here and help her grow, help yourself grow. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Yeah, likewise. You're gonna move mountains in this world.
We're working on it. We're working
Yeah,
on it.
yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
so we'll go at this point. So I thank you so much for coming on the show with us and telling us some of your experiences. I know there's more experiences and more to come. And I hope everybody is able to take you up on your offer and have some free time to do this with you and
Yeah,
communicate
it's
with you and collaborate with you and
yeah,
enjoy some time with other people.
excellent. Yes, thank you for creating this channel.
Oh, it's been a blast. I can't even say that enough. It's
That's
been
so
so
cool.
much fun. So much fun. So with that note, if you have any stories of your own out there, email me. Email me at lighttalk423 at gmail.com, and let's get together and let's talk and get a friendship going and have collaborate some, and of course, and be a guest on the show. So email me again, lighttalk423 at gmail.com. And while you're at it, click on the like, share, and subscribe buttons to keep us going, to help go grow with all these stories that are coming our way. All right. We'll talk to everybody next week. See ya. Bye.